Well, it looks like the Packers season is officially dead. First off, I want to start by apologizing. My voice sounds really rough today because last night I went to a hockey game in Columbus and they scored 6 goals, so I did a lot of screaming. So my voice is a little rough today while we're recording this. But I want to get this out to you because last night the Green Bay Packers played the Tennessee Titans on Thursday Night Football in Lambeau, coming off the victory against the Dallas Cowboys, and we lost 27-17. And a lot of it was due to inconsistency on both sides of the ball. First quarter, offense was playing good. Third quarter, offense was playing good. Second and fourth quarter, the offense scored no points. The Titans scored points in every single quarter, but our defense was able to get some key stops in the second and fourth quarter, respectively, to give the offense a chance, but they couldn't do anything about it. And it just goes back to one of the main issues that the Packers have had the entire season, and that is consistency on both sides of the ball. From game to game, quarter to quarter, drive to drive, we don't know what we're getting out of this team on both offense and defense. And it's just very frustrating as a fan because we see the talent. We saw what happened last week against Dallas. We know the potential of the Packers and how high they can go. They just cannot put it all together. That's on the execution of players. The coaching, play calling, the discipline of the team is not there. And so, sadly, it is very unlikely that the Packers are going to make the playoffs this year. And that might be something that this team honestly needs. But there is one major bright spot on this team, from this game at least, anyways. And that is Christian Watson. Coming off of a very strong performance against Dallas, the young receiver had another great game with 4 catches, 48 yards, and 2 touchdowns, marking him having 5 touchdowns in the past 5 days alone. And he has really started to come into his own ever since that he has been healthy finally and has the chemistry of Rodgers, and Rodgers is really trying to get him the ball. And speaking of Rodgers, he went 24 for 39, not liking the amount of throws he had, but we'll get to the run game in a second, for 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and got sacked once, a QBR of 53.2 and a rating of 94.7. About an average performance for Rodgers, nothing too horrible, but nothing too great either. The rushing attack was really not going well. Aaron Jones had 12 carries for 40 yards. A.J. Dillon, 6 carries for 13 yards. Only had 56 yards rushing the entire game, which is not good. But receivers did pretty good. Randall Cobb came back off of IR and had an amazing game. Had 6 catches for 73 yards. Allen Lazard had 5 for 57. Again, Christian Watson was incredible as always. Aaron Jones has 6 receptions for 20 yards. And that's about it for receiving. And then defensively, we had a couple of standout performances. Quay Walker had 12 tackles, including half of a sack and a tackle for loss. Chris Barnes had 12 total tackles. Preston Smith had 5 tackles, including 1.5 sacks. Where is it? And then someone else had a sack. Oh, Chris Barnes also had a sack in this game. I know we had 3 sacks. I was looking for another thing. And we also had an interception as well this game with Rasul Douglas getting an interception, returning for 22 yards. And the returning game was a lot better because, as you guys may have known, Amari Rodgers was cut after he fumbled again against Dallas. And so Keyshawn Nixon was our primary returner. On kick returns, he had 5 returns for 100 yards, averaging 21.6. On punt returns, he had 2 for 37, averaging 18.5, which is really nice. Mason Crosby hit 1 field goal and had a missed extra point. And then Pat O'Donnell had 4 punts for average of 47.3. But the main thing is the Titans were able to pass all over this defense. Ryan Tannehill went 22 of 27 with 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, got sacked 3 times. But the embarrassing thing is that Derrick Henry had 2 pass attempts for 4 yards and a touchdown. Derrick Henry passed for a touchdown against us. Running wise, the Packers were honestly able to hold the Titans pretty well. Derrick Henry had 28 attempts for 87 yards, averaging 3 yards per rush. But the Packers overly focused on Henry, and that allowed the Titans' pass game, which is a bit anemic at best, to completely tear open with Treylon Burks having 7 catches for 111 yards. Derrick Henry had 2 catches for 45 yards. Austin Hooper 4 for 36 and 2 touchdowns. And it's just wasn't necessarily the great. It was just we allowed the Titans way too much passing opportunities. And next up for the Packers, we are currently scheduled for Sunday Night Football. And we're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. I will not be surprised if this game gets flexed. And looking at our schedule, I only see about another maybe 2 victories against the Rams and potentially the Lions or the Bears. Because next we have the Eagles, we're at Chicago, home against the Rams, at the Dolphins, home against the Vikings, and home against the Lions. And the Vikings had the division this year. It sucks to say it, but it's true. And it's going to take a miracle for us to even make the playoffs as a wild card team. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. And as always, go Pack Go. They are going. I'm sticking by this team. They're my team, and it's frustrating to see them stoop this low. Well, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you all again next time.